What's up, YouTube? I'm back at you with another video, and I just want to do a quick recap of the Week 11 games. A lot of games went down this Saturday, and let's get into it. The first game we'll talk about, of course, Georgia Bulldogs, #1 team in the country. Uh, Once again, did a phenomenal job against Mississippi State, beat them 45-19. Had some times where the defense gave up some points, but still, this Georgia team all the way around just very, very good. Stetson Bennett had another great day passing the ball. Just a good job. McConkey had a great day receiving and rushing. And like I said, Mississippi State just couldn't get in the groove. Georgia was too much for them. They had, like I said, some small success, but it wasn't enough to the point where you felt like Georgia was in trouble or anything like that. For the most part, the only games Georgia, had trouble in was like that Missouri game and that Kent State game. But even then, you felt like Georgia was going to be able to take over. So clearly, #1 team in the country, doing what they're supposed to do. Like I said, it's going to be a hard team to beat. I mean, the way these teams are looking, this season, I don't see anybody being able to hold a candle to Georgia. But playing football to be played left, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But Georgia definitely in the college football playoff. That's no doubt. Ohio State, another team, looked it better against Indiana. They kind of struggled in the game against. I think they struggled a little bit with Penn State, Iowa, and Northwestern. They kind of struggled with Northwestern, but it came out on this game firing all cylinders. They established the run game early, and that was the one thing that was missing on Ohio State's offense. Establishing the run game. They came out this game was able to run the ball effectively. Let me click on the stats. Let me just make sure. Yeah, Ohio State. Yeah. They got 340 yards rushing. They definitely established the run game. Mayan Williams, he had 147 yards and touchdown. Dalen Hayden, he had 102 yards on a touchdown. Xavier Johnson had 71 yards on a touchdown. So, yeah, they was able to get 3 rushing touchdowns. C.J. Stroud had a great day. He passed for 297 yards and 5 touchdowns. So, Marvin Harrison Jr. had 135 yards receiving. A beast of a player. Xavier Johnson had 47. Cade Stover, the tight end, I think he's a tight end. He had 45 yards with 2 touchdowns. Emeka Egbuka, he had 38 yards and a touchdown. Even Cameron Babb had a touchdown. So Ohio State definitely made up for their offensive struggles in the previous games, and they definitely showed out against Indiana. Let me go back and see who else played. Yeah, Michigan. Michigan continues to look good as well against Nebraska. They beat them 34-3. And if I'm not mistaken, I know Blake Corum had a great day rushing the ball. Let me see. Well, yeah, I'm looking on the wrong side. Yeah, Blake Corum, 162 yards on the ground, a touchdown. I mean, what can I say about this guy? This guy has he competing for the best running back in the country. You got guys like Bijan Robinson, great running back, Quishon Judkins at Ole Miss, but Blake Corum just consistently puts out good numbers for Michigan. Michigan is definitely a good team to look out for, and it's going to be interesting against that matchup against Ohio State later on in the season. Somebody got to lose that game, and it's going to be fireworks. I'm definitely going to be there watching that game, see what happens. J.J. McCarthy threw for 129 yards with 2 touchdowns, and yeah, he also got a touchdown rushing as well. He had -8 yards rushing, but he still was able to get a touchdown. So yeah, Michigan had 264 yards rushing on the day. Did a phenomenal job. They just continue to look like one of the best teams in the country. And next, I'm gonna talk about TCU. TCU pulled it off. A lot of people had TCU losing that game, but they definitely stepped up. You can't doubt what Max Duggan has done this season. He's definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He only threw for 124 with 1 touchdown. K Miller, he had 138 yards on the ground with a touchdown, so he had a phenomenal day. TCU was able to get 159 rushing, so that's pretty good. Like I said, Johnston, he had 66 yards and a touchdown. Like I said, it was a defensive slugfest. Both teams were playing really, really good on the defensive side of the ball, and TCU continues, to be one of the best teams in the country as well. They're 10-0 right now, and I think they still have to play Baylor and somebody else. I think Iowa. I'm honest. I'm being honest. They should win both those games, and TCU is going to probably be undefeated in the Big 12, and potentially get a playoff spot. It's going to be a fight, though, because you still have Tennessee out there. Tennessee, sitting out there, too. They have one loss, but if they went out, how could you not deny, put them in there? Like I said, what's going to happen with the Ohio State and Michigan? Say if Ohio State lose and they lose close, are you going to leave them completely out, or you going to go with the Big Ten champion? It's going to be a fight I think, between TCU and Tennessee. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting season, guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but TCU got the victory, remains undefeated in the Big 12. Like I said, Tennessee, I'm just talking about them, the number 5 team in the country right now, beat Missouri 66-24. Tennessee, man, that offense is just insane. They came out playing like they was mad. They bounced back, really, really good against Georgia, and they might sneak back in there. I mean, Tennessee is definitely one of the highest scoring team in the country right now, and like I said, they just completely did what they wanted to do against Missouri. And Henry Hooker, let me click on his stats. Let me see. Yeah, he had a record day again. He passed for 355 yards with 3 touchdowns. Joe Milton passed for 105 with a touchdown. Total passing yards, 460 yards passing, guys. That's insane. And then Dylan Sampson, he rushed for 98 yards, a touchdown. Jabari Smalls, 54 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Wright, 51 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hendon Hooker, 50 yards and a touchdown. I mean, Tennessee played like they was angry, guys. They got 264 on the ground. And if I'm not mistaken, total yardage, I think they got like 700 or something yards. Yeah, 724 total yards of offense. That's, wow, they completely embarrassed Missouri. Missouri defense is not no slouch neither, so Tennessee probably wants another crack at Georgia. I know Georgia's the best team in the country right now, but I would like to think Tennessee wants to play Georgia on a neutral field and see how they perform better than, they played Georgia at home, and it was very, very loud, it seemed like, in that stadium. And but Tennessee definitely one of the best teams. Like I said, what do you do between TCU and Tennessee if you decide you want to put 2 Big Ten teams in there? But Tennessee definitely one of the best teams in the country. Let me see. LSU beat Arkansas 13-10. A defensive slugfest. Both teams playing really, really good on defense. To be honest, I feel like Arkansas could have won that game. It just, couldn't do anything offensively, and you got to give credit to LSU defense. They did a phenomenal job of shutting down. They did some defensive adjustments. I forgot the guy's name. Let me click on it. Harold Perkins, yes. That guy. LSU got a great player in Harold Perkins, man. That guy sets the tone. They put him out there to spy the quarterback, and Hornsby was doing a good job of scrambling that first out the pocket and getting some yards, but Harold Perkins shut that all the way down. And once he shut that down, Arkansas really couldn't even move the ball, and they held them scoreless for 2 quarters, the second quarter and the third quarter. Yeah, Harold Perkins is definitely that guy on LSU's defense. And like I said, Jaden Daniels, man, he's always going to be a threat, run the ball, man. And definitely got some good players around him. And LSU officially are going, they officially won the West, and they're going to officially go against Georgia. That's going to be a good matchup. A lot of people got Georgia favored to win that, and it's good to think that because they definitely playing at a high level. But LSU, they're not done, guys. They might have something for Georgia, that they might try to scheme up. What I've noticed about LSU, they're good at second half adjustments. So it's going to be interesting. But of course, people going to think Georgia's going to win the game, and rightfully so. They definitely the best team in the country right now. This was a shocker. Number 6, Oregon lost to Washington, 37-34. Oregon was doing very, very well. And after their loss to Georgia, Bo Nix was having a phenomenal day. Let me look at the stats for the game. Yeah, Oregon. Yeah, Bo Nix passed for 280 yards with 2 touchdowns. B. Irvin had a good day on the ground, 143 yards. Whittington, he had 108 yards and a touchdown. Bo Nix had 59 yards and a touchdown. They was able to get 312 total yards of offense. 312 rushing yards, and they was able to get 280. So they did a pretty good job. It was just one of those games. Washington always plays Oregon really, really well, and yeah, Washington, uh, Phoenix Jr. He passed for 408 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he had a record day. Um, Tyler Papa, he had 70 yards and a touchdown. Davis had 24 yards and a touchdown. So just Washington just came out there. McMillan had 122 yards a touchdown. Polk had 95 yards a touchdown. T. Davis had 62 yards a touchdown. Yeah, McMillan, he only had 122 yards, but he didn't get a touchdown. But still, Washington just was able to move the ball on Oregon. I was looking up, I kept seeing the score, and I saw Washington was up. I'm like, okay, I expect the Oregon to come back, but Washington got the victory. They knocked out the number 6 team in the country, and they was ranked number 25. So I expect Washington to move up in the rankings. And how far down does Oregon fall? With Oregon out the way, like I said, it's going to be a fight between who you think is better between Tennessee and TCU. That's going to be interesting. LSU probably going to move up, but we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. Of course, my number 9, Alabama, we beat number 11, Ole Miss. A game that looked like Ole Miss was going to, run away with it. Lane Kiffin was coming off a bye week, and he had plenty of time to study this defense, and he dissected our defense. But Alabama made the adjustments, and it was key for us to make those adjustments because this game could have got out of hand. The defense stepped up when they needed to. Bryce continues to, keep the game, where we can win it. He missed some key, routes, that was open and everything like that. I don't know if he's still injured or maybe he just, doesn't see it. But we was able to establish the run late in the game, and that's something that Alabama's been missing. The O-line has been inconsistent. Wide receivers were dropping balls, but Ja'Cory Brooks stepped up this game. Kendrick Law stepped up. Hope to see him more often, in these last 2 final games and our bowl game. But Alabama stepped up. They could. Everybody was questioning the mentality of this team and how they was going to perform, but they came out. They performed on the road in a hostile environment against a offensive genius in Lane Kiffin, and he was agitated at the end of the game. You could tell he was very, very upset. But in our opinion, we needed this win for Alabama fans. Like, we definitely needed this win, and we need to finish strong going into next season. And hopefully we can get some new coordinators, some new coaching in there, so we can get back on track, man. I mean, I know we spoiled as Alabama fans, with 2 losses. A lot of people love to have just 2 losses so far, but at Alabama, we play to a standard. It's either a championship or bust, and we didn't get our championship, but we still got to play strong. So I'm happy for my Tide. They won the game, and hopefully we can get better in the future. Next game, talk about Clemson beat Louisville. I thought this was going to be a better game than what it is. It was kind of close at first, but Clemson got the lead, and it looked like they never stepped off, the gas. Beat them 31-16. Let me see, Clemson. Yeah, DJ Ugalele, he passed for 185 yards and a touchdown. Phil Maffa, he had 106 yards and a touchdown. Had a great day on the ground. Will Shipley had 97 yards with a touchdown. DJ Ugalele had 32 yards and a touchdown. So Clemson was able to get 248 yards rushing and 185 yards passing. No, 181, I'm sorry. Antonio Williams had 6 yards. He passed. But Clemson did what they're supposed to do. Antonio Williams, he had 83 yards and a touchdown. They just did what they're supposed to do. Continue to win out. I don't think Clemson's going to be able to get in the playoffs, but they'll definitely get a good bowl game. Might possibly play against my Alabama Crimson Tide. That'll be fun to watch. So at this point, just like Alabama, we're just playing for potentially a good, bowl game. Like I said, maybe we'll meet Clemson, but nevertheless, Clemson got the victory. And like I said, they bounced back for their loss that they had against Notre Dame last week. Another game, Arizona beat UCLA. That was shocking. UCLA was ranked number 12. Arizona beat them 34-28. Not let me see. Yeah, yeah, that was shocking. UCLA started off the season really, really good. Y'all know Arizona is not, pretty good team this year. And for UCLA to lose to Arizona, they definitely gonna have to regroup in the Pac-12. Utah beat Stanford 42-7. The game came on late. I ain't really get to watch that game, but Utah continues to be one of the best teams in the Pac-12, and Stanford, like I said, I like David Shaw, but they're kind of, they're probably looking for a new coaching, change and everything like that. But Utah definitely, before the season started, everybody had a lot of hype around Utah, and they're a pretty good team, and they did what they're supposed to do against Stanford. Penn State versus Maryland. I thought Maryland was going to be in this game. Penn State completely dominated Maryland. Let me look at the stats for the game. Like I said, Sean Clifford, yeah, he passed for 139 yards, a touchdown. Singleton was the guy, though, 122 yards for 2 touchdowns on the ground rushing. Penn State was able to get 249 yards rushing. They completely ran all over Maryland's defense. Basically, Penn State completely dominated Maryland. I thought Talia would be able to do something in that game, but look at his stats. Yeah, he only passed for 74 yards. Yeah, Penn State completely shut down Talia Tungavaloa. Hemby, he only got 68 yards. Yeah, Maryland can do anything. Yeah, they completely shut down Maryland's offense. Like I said, Penn State, in my opinion, is the third best team in the Big Ten, and definitely a team you have to watch out every day. James Franklin doing a good job with that program. Just can't get over the hump of beating, Ohio State and Michigan, but on a consistent basis. But nevertheless, a good win for them. Penn State, gonna be interesting to see what they do going forward. Hey, it might be a potential team we might play, but North Carolina beat Wake Forest, close game, 36-34. Wake Forest is not no slouch. They're a pretty good team, and North Carolina needed this victory. They've been struggling and everything like that, but they was able to beat a good team in Wake Forest, so that's good news for North Carolina. Boston College beat North Carolina State. If I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat. They said Boston College has never beaten a ranked opponent or something like that. A huge win for Boston College. They won 21-20. And North Carolina State at the time was ranked number 16, so a huge win for Boston College. Let's see, UCF beat Tulane 38-31. A good team. Tulane is a very, very good team, and UCF was able to knock them off. I think Rice Plumlee is over there from used to be at Ole Miss. They did a good job and won the game, so hats off to UCF over there with Gus Malzahn. He's the head coach over there. He's doing a good job. Kansas State beat Baylor 31-3. Like I said, Baylor's not ranked. Baylor was trying to play for a spot, potentially win the Big 12, and they failed. Only was able to score 3 points against Kansas State. Like I said, Kansas State team led by Adrian Martinez doing a great job. And actually, they had Howard, play this game, and he passed 196 yards, 3 touchdowns. Adrian Martinez, I don't know if he's injured or anything like that, but he was the second quarterback for the team. But Deuce Vaughn had a great day on the ground, 106 yards. D. Gibbons had a good day, 58 yards and a touchdown. So Kansas State, still a great team, guys. They only have 3 losses, but still a good team. The number 19 team in the country, and they got to win over a great defensive team in Baylor, with Dave Aranda as the head coach. So a good win for Kansas State. Notre Dame barely beat Navy, 35-32. But Marcus Freeman doing a good job, rebounding, from the early losses that they took. And Notre Dame's always that team you just have to watch out for. They play up to everybody's standard. Whoever team they're playing, they play up to the level. So did a good job. Pine, he threw for 269 yards for 4 touchdowns. So he had a great day passing the ball. It just, like I said, Notre Dame just continues to, want to continue to win out, win the games and end on a good note at the end of the season. That should be everybody's goal at this point. Just finish out if you have losses and everything. If you undefeated, just win out. So potential getting the playoffs. Purdue beat Illinois. So good team in Illinois. Illinois was doing a good job with Brett Bielema. But Purdue was able to pull it off 31-24. Let's see, Purdue. Yeah, Devin Maccabee, he had 106 yards and touchdown. Aiden O'Connell threw for 237 yards. So a Purdue team, it looked like they was going to be really good when the season started. It took like 4 losses, but beat a really, really good team in Illinois. Illinois did a good job this season. Tommy DeVito, he threw for 201 yards and a touchdown. Chase Brown had 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they beat Illinois, and Illinois is, probably upset about that, but they're doing a good job this season. They have a good record, compared to past, records. So Brett Bielema doing a good job over there. Good head coach. Florida State beat Syracuse 38-3. Florida State, another team. Mike Norvell doing a good job. Florida State, they're moving in the right direction. Florida State used to be a team to be feared back in the day, and Mike Norvell doing a good job of getting quality wins. Syracuse was ranked a week ago, if I'm not mistaken, and I think Clemson knocked them off. I think when they was ranked, but good win for Florida State, team that's on the rise, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with them going forward. Vanderbilt beat Kentucky. That was a shocker. Vanderbilt has greatly improved. Their new head coach there beat a Bob Stoops team. Vanderbilt, struggles, to beat, SEC opponents in the conference and everything. It was on the bottom part of the SEC, but was able to beat Kentucky 24-21. Vanderbilt definitely has something working over there. They probably won't no longer be, bottom of the barrel. They greatly improved this season. Like I said, Wright, he threw for 184 yards. He's very, dual threat guy. He can run the ball effectively. He got a passing touchdown. He had 126 yards on the ground rushing, so he had a touchdown there. Davis was also able to get 129 yards and a touchdown. So, and Shepard, he had 88 yards on a touchdown. So Vanderbilt's no slouch this year. Like I said, was able to beat a ranked team in Kentucky. So huge victory for Vanderbilt. It's just the year the teams that normally do bad, they're doing good this season. It's fun, bringing fun back to the college football. You never know what they expect. Duke beat Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is just, they're on a down spiral right now. They definitely need some coaching changeover. Like I said, lost to Duke. Duke, not really a good team as well, but definitely, good victory for Duke to beat Virginia Tech. Michigan State beat Rutgers 27-21. Michigan State, a team, they have some things they need to work on, and I can't think of the head coach right. Mel Tucker, defensive-minded guy. Definitely gonna have to, do some changes, to get that program back on track. And used to be a team under Dan Antonio. Used to be really, really good. Under his watch, they made it to the playoffs that year. And ever since then, they just haven't gotten back to the point where they're competing at a high level. But definitely need some coaching changes over there at Michigan State. Let me see who else. UConn beat Liberty. Coach Freeze, he's a really, really good offensive-minded coach, and UConn was able to come in there and beat Liberty, a good team in Liberty. So good victory for them. Pittsburgh beat Virginia. Like I said, Virginia not doing a good job. They have Clemson's, I can't think his name right, the offensive coach, Tony Elliott as the head coach. Rough outing against Pittsburgh. They beat them by 30 points. a team in Pitt that looked good in the beginning of the season and took a couple of losses, but Pittsburgh was able to get the victory there. West Virginia beat Oklahoma. Feel bad for Oklahoma, man. They was winning games, and they still have some things they need to work on. But Eric Gray had a great day on the ground rushing. He had 211 yards with 2 touchdowns. Dylan Gabriel was able to pass for 190 yards. Marvin Mims had 98 yards and a touchdown. Oklahoma's a very, very talented team, man, and they just can't seem to put it together. I think they're a coach, just have patience with, Oklahoma Sooners. They're definitely going to get back to that point. It just, it's going to take some time. You have a new coach and Brent Venables coming over there, and once he get his players and recruit the guys that he want over there, I think Oklahoma, out of everybody, probably have the biggest turnaround. Oklahoma's very, very talented, and they just a victim of other coaching turnover and players leaving the program. But Oklahoma will definitely get back there to winning football, and it's just a down year, for Oklahoma. But they'll get better, definitely. Who else played? Miami beat Georgia Tech 35-14. Great win for Miami. They needed this win. Miami seemed like they were struggling to get a win and was on the down spiral, but they're recruiting at a good level, and like I said, the goal at this point is to win out, and good win for Miami. I know it's against Georgia Tech, but still, getting a victory at this point, can help build the program going forward. So good victory for Miami. Oklahoma State beat Iowa 20-14. Like I said, Oklahoma State is a really, really good team. They got some losses and they fell out of the rankings, but out of the top 25. But definitely a good team, and it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do going forward. Who else played? Iowa beat Wisconsin 24-10. Like I said, both teams are has been struggling this season. Wisconsin, I'm not sure if they got a new coach yet. I know they fired Paul Chris, so looking for a new head coach in Iowa. A team great defensively, not good offensively, but was able to beat Wisconsin. So good victory for Iowa. Florida completely destroyed South Carolina 38-6. Let me click on that and see what happened in that game. I didn't get to watch it. Yeah, Anthony Richardson didn't really have a good day passing, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns, but Florida's run game took off. Johnson Jr. had 161 yards with 1 touchdown. ETN had 100 yards and a touchdown. Anthony Richardson ran the ball good with 96 yards and touchdowns. So, like I said, Florida was able to get 374 yards on the ground. Like I said, a rushing team, one of the best rushing attacks in the country. South Carolina just couldn't stop their rushing attack. Spencer Rattler threw for 145 yards. And, they just completely destroyed South Carolina. They was only able to kick. Let me see. Did they get a touchdown? Yeah, Jordan, he had 73 yards for a touchdown. So only able to get 1 touchdown. And South Carolina team, that's improved greatly. And I think they're 6-4 right now. So like I said, at this point, just build on the progress that you made so far. South Carolina used to be on the bottom end. They're doing pretty good this season. They got 6 victories and 4 losses so far, but they're both teams got 4 losses, but definitely a team to look out for. South Carolina, every team, it seems like, is getting better. Teams that weren't good in the beginning of the season the last couple of years are doing a fabulous job of getting better. So you always like to see progress with these teams. Let me see. Texas Tech beat Kansas. Like I said, Kansas is a team that's done well. Used to be at the bottom of the barrel, but did pretty good this season. And Texas Tech, a team, took some losses as well, but was able to beat Texas this year. But like I said, Kansas, another great, a team that's greatly improved for what they used to be. Who else played? Auburn. Auburn beat Texas A&M 13-10. Carnell Williams is doing a heck of a job. I looked at the game the other day, and I saw it at the end. They were just talking to Carnell, and he's bringing something to that program. Um, I think Auburn should go ahead and hire him as their head coach, man. He's bringing something to that team. It seems like the players they surround him. It like they get up for the games when he's out there on the sideline. He's into the game. He seems like he's happy to be there. The speech that he said at the end of the game, he was excited for the program, and I think Auburn need to go ahead and hire this guy, man. Like I said, used to play there. Um, he understands the culture, you know, and that's very, very important, to have guys like that in your program to come around you and have your back like that. And it all starts at the top. You got to have the enthusiasm for your team, and your team will play for you. Them boys will play for you. Auburn definitely need to go ahead and hire this guy. I wish we had some of our former players to come there and be on the coaching staff, to help our program out. But yeah, Auburn got the victory. Like I said, almost beat Mississippi State the week prior, and was able to beat Texas A&M. So a team in Texas A&M that's very, very talented, even though they're bad this season. Auburn was able to beat them at home. So good job for Auburn. Texas A&M, on the other hand, I think they fall to 3-7, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 3-7. Jimbo Fisher got 7 losses on the season. He might be on the way out the door, guys. I know Texas A&M is kind of fed up with this season. This is supposed to be one of their great seasons, and he's putting that product out there on the field. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Texas A&M does going forward with Jimbo Fisher at the helm. I've heard rumors that he's trying to get out of there and fight for his job, but I don't know. A lot of people think he destroyed the Florida State program, before he left, but Florida State is on the way back up. It seems like they're moving in the right direction. Texas A&M seems like they're going down. So maybe it is some truth to Jimbo Fisher bringing down programs. But nevertheless, good victory for Auburn. Oregon State beat Cal 38-10. Oregon State, good offensive team. Like I said, Cal at one point, yeah, Cal's just been, bad at, this whole season. Oregon State, they're 7-3. Cal is 3-7. So, win for Oregon State. A win they should have won. A game they should have won. So, good victory for Oregon State. That's pretty much it, guys. It's a lot of bowl games and stuff like that. But yeah, it was exciting week 11. And that's all I have for the video, guys. And if you haven't, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.